All right. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. White.
Good morning, Jennifer.
And good morning, special guest, Mr. City Councilman Franklin Thompson.
Good morning.
How are you this
I am
morning?
doing fine.
Good. Claude, you usually give us a nice opener for the show. Can you share some of your thoughts quickly about what you're thinking this morning?
Exactly. To open the show each time, I give thanks to my deity, which I call God. I give thanks because I'm able to be here today and to have this opportunity and to thank our special guest, Councilman Thompson, for being here today, and to you, Jennifer, for being here to accompany. Also, you as a co-host, you're going to run the show basically today. And also, Mr. Jeffrey Williams has come
Yes.
into the building. He is a co-host also,
All right.
and we will be giving or asking questions to Mr. Thompson. Our theme today is diversity in the workplace and in society, and we will touch base on a couple of other topics. And Mr. Thompson, I will turn it over to you to give us a brief synopsis of your background. It's so lengthy that it would take up a whole hour, but if you could just give something briefly and let the audience know what you are doing and where you come from.
Well, first of all, I'm a product of a military home, so we moved around. Uh, Cloud of dust, 2 years, moved, keep moving, moving, moving. My father ended up at Alfred Air Force Base, and so
Oh,
when he was here, I was during my high school days, and I went to Omaha Tech High. And then ultimately, most of the family left, but I stayed around.
Okay.
I went to the University of Nebraska Lincoln, and I got my teacher's degree. And then after that, I taught at Burke High School, and then I also taught at Blackburn Alternative School. At that time, it was called ISC number 2. And then I went to Creighton Prep High School, and then I was recruited to go over to UNO to teach teachers. So I'm in the College of Education teaching teachers.
great.
And then my students at UNO challenged me to run for office, and
Oh,
I said, I don't have any money and I don't have any help. And two students said, well, we'll do it. And I said, I can't pay you. And they said, well, you do it free. We'll do it for free.
wow. That
So
is
that's how I got
wonderful.
into government, and I've been a city councilman for 15 and a half years, not in the minority district, but my district is 78% white, 98% white.
That's correct.
Yes.
District
District
6.
6?
Yes.
Is that right?
Correct. That's
Okay.
roughly the Millard area,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Now, you're Republican, and
Yes.
being in Nebraska, how significant is that?
Well, as far as I can tell, if somebody else can correct me, please do, but I think I've been the only elected black Republican in the state for 16 years.
Wow.
So
Okay.
anybody out there in listener land, I guess if you wanted to make a award-winning documentary, just get your camera and follow me around, and you'll have a lot of material that you could put together for this
Okay.
documentary.
Well, that's kind of leads right into one of my first questions I wanted to ask you. Explain to us how Joe Citizen, quote unquote, Joe Citizen, um, how they can be involved in government, city government. What do we need to know? How can I get involved?
Usually people start on the ground level, which is helping a campaign. And for example, there's a mayoral campaign coming up next May, and there will be city council positions open. And to help someone on their campaign is to get a good feel for whether you think you want to do it. Now, it's a lot of work, and you have to do a lot of stuff. Just walking door to door that can be very, very tiresome. It takes a lot of extra time. And if you have a spouse, you have to have someone who's very flexible with your time.
Yes, I imagine.
Then, in terms of criteria, you have to be 21 years of age. You have to live in the district that you're representing for 6 months or more. It used to be 12. They lowered it down to 6.
Okay.
And you cannot have any felonies, and you have to be registered as a voter.
But can you not have felony and that felony has elapsed over 2 years?
Yes.
I believe that you can still vote.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Even though they have a felony in 2 years that has been,
for voting.
For voting,
Yes,
but not for
but not for
elected.
running for
Okay,
office.
okay.
Not for elected office.
Okay,
All
right,
right,
good.
okay. Well, I think the working from the ground floor up is most important thing because we want to get our citizens out there to register and vote and be involved in government. Is that,
Yes, a lot of people, the last time we had an election, I think it was only 28% of the voters that went to the poll, and that's kind of poor. You really would like to get it up at least to 45%, and ideally, you even want it to be better than that. So people have to become involved. You cannot complain if you yourself do not become part of the solution.
and how do we get the individuals out there to vote?
Voting drives are very common, and I happen to know a cousin of mine, which is Preston Love, is one example of a person who is out there doing voting drives.
yes, he's very active and
Yes.
with great success, historical success in 2008.
Yes.
So it does, and every vote does count.
Every vote counts. It
Yeah,
really does.
a lot of people may not think my vote doesn't count, but it does.
And I would like to add to that at each of the 12 branches of the library, I happen to work at Millard Library, we all have voter registration applications. You can come in and pick up an application and then register to vote. I do not care if you vote independent, Democrat, Republican, or whatever. I also am a Republican, and I get grief about being that, but I vote for the best individual and not for a party.
You were correct.
That's correct.
Yes.
When I go into a voting booth, my vote is not all R, and it's not all D, and it's not all I's.
Yes.
When I vote, you'll see me crossing back and over, back and forth.
Right,
I vote for the person.
right, exactly. Well, we were talking about voting and the importance of it and being involved. What about city council meetings? How can a person be involved on that level?
You want to come to the council Tuesdays at 2 o'clock, and some meetings are as short as a half an hour, and others are as long as 8 or 9 hours. So it just depends on the agenda. And if there's an item that you have special interest in, then you actually can get up and testify pro or against
Oh, okay.
whatever the agenda item is, and
Oh.
go on record as to what you feel,
Okay, what is the criteria for an individual or citizen, say Joe Blow, put in an item toward the city council looking at it? Do they have to fill out a form and then the form be approved?
Actually, the agenda is driven by the mayor and the council and not the citizens. So if you just have, if the citizen has a question, you don't come to the city council necessarily for that. You ask the councilman to have a forum out in the community. So there are official meetings that the agenda is driven by the mayor and the council and the departments like Public Works and Planning.
Okay.
And then we have forums that the council reps have out in the community, and then the mayor also has her town halls. It's the last two, the forums and the town halls, that become most of the, we would say, original input from the populace.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right, all right, I
Yes.
see.
Are,
Okay.
are the council members put in committees, such as like the senators, you may have a Ways and Means Committee or this committee, or do all of the councilmen vote on one particular item individually?
The committee structure at the state level is far, far more intricate than at our level. Our committees are basically make up about 8 different areas. For example, Public Works. So, for example, if you have trash problems, it's going to go under the Public Works Committee. Planning, whether or not you want to bring in a new Walmart.
Oh,
And then there are personnel, human resources, and then there's public safety, so that'd be police and fire. And so it's those kinds of committee structures that are at the council level.
oh, okay.
How are they determining what council member is on what committee?
We each have definitely 2 that we're on, and sometimes 3 and 4, depending on your expertise. I'm on 4 committees.
Oh, okay. And what are those?
Mine is the Public Works, it's library.
All right, that's your bag, Mr.
Well,
White.
yes, he was out at my library
Oh, okay.
maybe a week ago, 2
Oh,
weeks ago, something like
okay.
that. You bet.
Yes. And then I'm on human rights, and then I'm also on planning.
All right. I was looking at the last city council meeting. You passed a budget. Budget was passed? The
Yes.
mayor's budget
Yes.
for the city of Omaha.
Yes, we passed the budget.
Can you tell us, how does that happen? What is that process? And then I have one more question about the budget. But how is that process started? It started by the mayor's office?
The budget is initiated by the mayor's office, and then it comes to us about the 11th hour, 10th, 11th hour, and then we massage it before we vote it up or down, and then the mayor can veto, and then we can override the veto.
So you're giving and taking
Yes.
on that?
And it usually starts around February of each year, and we vote on it in late August.
And what are the determinants of, what her budget's going to be like? I mean,
Each mayor is different.
yes.
This mayor is strong on balancing the budget, making sure that you justify what you get, that it isn't just an automatic, every year you re-up
Oh,
again.
okay.
You have to show that you actually did something with your money, and that it had an impact. It had an impact on who it's supposed to serve. For example, if you have something for children, but all it became was a babysitting thing, and it really didn't help children gain skills or learn how to, maybe write a resume or whatever, then that's a waste of money. And so her political mindset is that every year, this called like zero budget balancing, and you have to justify every year what you ask for, and then each year, however, the amount of people who ask for money increases much more than the pot increases. And
Okay.
so,
All right.
you're kind of competing with each other too.
Okay, so all of the services and so forth that the city offers, are those sources of revenue?
The source of revenue is mostly income tax, sales tax, and property tax, and
Okay.
fees.
Okay,
Like, for example, some of the fees you would pay to get your house inspected if you're doing an addition on it or something like that.
oh, okay,
Uh-huh.
all right, great.
I would like to get back a little bit, changing topic a little bit about diversity. I have read that the Omaha is the 5th highest African American poverty rate among the nation's 100 largest cities.
Yes.
Your opinion on that, and why is that? Is it lack of education, lack of enthusiasm, or what is your opinion about that?
This topic alone could take up 2 hours.
I'm sure it could.
So we're gonna, we're strapped for time, so we'll do the best we can in a short period of time. But I teach race and human relations at UNO. That's the course that I'm teaching to teachers. And I am very passionate about the subject that you're asking about. Basically speaking, it all starts with the historical patterns. The historical pattern of Omaha is that it has been a good old boy and a white male-dominated place. And most of the black community, 85% of the black community in Nebraska is right here in Omaha. And then a large percentage of them tend to be not in the same political party as the governor or the majority of the rest of the state. So you have a built-in kind of a bifurcation and blunting of heads,
Yes.
bumping of heads. And what happens is that the message to our young people is that if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to really climb high and be an Oprah Winfrey, you have to leave Omaha to do it. So every year we have this minority brain drain. Our best and our brightest are leaving and going to Atlanta and Chicago and Denver and whatever. So it leaves behind a second and a third string. And so you have two forces bearing upon each other. Long established historical racism that discourages black development. And then at the same time, you have maybe the ones that are staying behind, vying for the leadership, maybe not necessarily the most qualified. And so you might have some mismanagement of things or funds or whatever.
Exactly.
And so those two things crash. But I do want to say the second thing, maybe the lack of talent or the lack of leadership, that too is connected to racism, though.
Yes.
So you don't want to necessarily blame the victim, but at the same time, the victim has got to be able to say, hey, it stops with us, and it
Right.
stops now.
Right.
And we have to do the change. I can't wait for the white man to do it for me, and I can't wait for the government. I've got to do it. So, and that's the part, even though that I'm a conservative, I've got a lot of Malcolm X in me too. I'm kind of a goulash politician,
Well,
really.
it sounds like it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good mix to
Yes,
have because
yes.
the realization is that racism is in our society.
It is.
It's established.
Uh-huh.
It's an institution.
Institutionalized.
Yeah, it is an institution, and,
And
what
it-
do they say? You just can't help it.
Right,
But
and it
yes,
does-
you can. I mean, we can make change.
It
Yes.
does exist in Omaha, whether individuals
Right.
want to realize it or not. My father had a saying that we, the individuals, not necessarily me, the individuals who have made it to the top are like crabs. When you put 2 or 3 crabs in a bucket, when one is getting ready to climb out of the bucket, the other crab will reach up and pull that individual down instead of pushing them up and get up out of the bucket.
Claude, I have a lot of crab marks on my ankles.
But you continued the climb. You didn't give up.
What
and
I had to do was develop those lobster cracker
Yeah,
things
right.
that when you're eating them. I had to develop a couple of those so that when they were pulling me down, I reached down and I kind of
Crack
crack
them.
them a little bit.
Yeah, right.
But boy, that's tough.
It is.
That is not an easy thing. And
No,
so
it isn't.
when you hear empty-headed conservatives say, well, Dr. T made it, how come the rest didn't make it? They must be lazy. Well, not necessarily so. Yeah, I made it, but I was also hospitalized twice for a nervous breakdown trying to make it. So, yes, it is possible. And so we want to send 2 messages. To conservatives, we want to say, stop all this microwaving and blaming. Put away your microwave oven. There's no quick fix. But to African Americans, we want to say, you got to overcome. And you can overcome. And you can't wait for somebody to do it for you. You got to do it yourself.
And the key to that is education.
Yes. Education, faith, and a
Faith.
stubborn refusal to fail.
To give up, yes.
And that goes double for the African American women.
Yes.
Because they are held down no matter what degree they have.
It's hard
They
to-
still make less income than their white counterparts.
Yes, the statistics are, national-wise, women make 84 cents to a man's dollar, and in Nebraska, that 84 has dropped down to about 72, and for black, the 72 is more like 66.
That's-
So as you can see, it's stratified
tough.
by gender and race.
Yes, that is really, really tough to make it. I have one question before we go on
Okay?
about city government. It's very important, and I know you are a proponent of education and youth. You served as a judge one time, or several years, in the NAACP AXO
Yes.
program, and that is a very important tool, along with other programs that are lifting our youth up. Education, education, education. Politics, we need representation. Do you think that having a youth on a city council appointed, or maybe a mayor's youth council?
Or mayor aide or something?
Yeah.
You definitely need a mayor's youth council, definitely. And if I were mayor, that would happen.
When are you going to run?
I think it's been building. No, I'm not going to say anything, Mr. Thompson.
I also know that some of the young people are starting to think about running. Aja Anderson ran for school board, and she's a cousin of mine. And I hear that there are some young gentlemen that are very young thinking about council. So I encourage that, and it doesn't matter what party you are in. If you are black or brown or red and you want to get involved, I'm interested in you getting involved, even if you're not in the same party I am.
All right, thank you.
That's correct.
good to,
I
good
can
to
think
hear.
of a couple of individuals.
Your phone will be ringing.
Yolanda Williams is a great individual. Also, Justin
Justin Wayne, yes.
is a great individual.
You know, because, you know, it's not about party. It's larger than that. It's about the children, first of all, and the future that we're going to leave for them. And it's also about coming together and having joint, I believe joint wisdom is better than selective wisdom. So there are things that I can learn from independents, and there are things that I can learn from Democrats. I'm not afraid to do that. Now, being a Republican that says that, I'll get labeled as a rhino.
Right.
But,
you and me both.
But I
Oh, well.
also, while I'm getting labeled there, I'm also getting gold stars from my creator.
Yes.
I've got incredible favor with my creator.
And that's the
That's
po-
my
that's the
deity.
most
You
that's the
bet.
most important one there. All the other things, the naysayers and the questioners and so forth, that
Okay.
that happens.
Every time the naysayers try to do the crab in the barrel or to say that I'm not pure or whatever, God finds a way to make me push ahead of them.
I appreciate
you've
that.
You've been pushing. You have been pushing for many years and supporting our community and contributing and giving back. But I know that you have to have release from that, and I understand that you are an accomplished musician.
I'm an accomplished songwriter and an average singer.
Okay.
And then I'm an average drummer.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at this time at some of your music. The first is going to be Black Pearl. Can we play that, please?
Yes.
Push that to number 17.
This thing right here is for all the fellas who appreciate the importance
this is
of
you.
life.
Yes.
Talking about
this is a
beautiful
tribute
black women
to
who
all
also
the
have
black
a brain.
women
You
of
know,
the
like
world who
your
have
mother,
kept
your
the
daughter,
black
your
race
girlfriend,
from going under.
people who help to keep you
While
grounded.
the black man was
they
being
keep
attacked.
you from going
The black women held it down for us.
All right.
Little girl, you've been in the background much too long. Black girl, beautiful woman, let me put you up where you belong.
Once upon a time in the Liberty Bird, there was a certain law that was rude and absurd. First there was slavery and then Jim Crow. Stealing your pride was the lowest blow. But girl, you were strong enough to be the backbone of your
Is this you
community.
rapping?
Working so hard your whole life through, raising other people's children and your own too. A change came along because of black women like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth. Madam C.J. Walker and Mahalia Jackson
You
were
should
the
go
real
on
truth.
American Got Talent.
And don't forget about Barbara Jordan, Shirley Chisholm, Diane Carroll, Vanessa Williams, Halle Berry, Oprah Winfrey, Condoleezza Rice, Michelle Obama.
Black pearl, pretty little girl, you've been in the background much too long. Black girl, beautiful woman.
Now my daughter, Jasmine, is going to help me here.
Okay.
Well, I'm sick of your attitude, I'm sick of the games. And I'm sick of your lines, and I'm sick of you lames. Sick of the game that you try to pin on me. Hate discriminating cause you ain't me. Taint me, you paint me a different color. Clone me cause you're never gonna find another. Jazzy, classy, but I'm undercover. Cause I still knock you out and leave you for your mother. Okay?
My daughters, they can do no wrong. They're the definition of superstars. My wife and my mother are strong. They have brought our family so very far. I'll give you all the reasons I would never ever leave you, girl. You got my heart. I'll give you all my love and golden woman, cause you know you are a superstar.
This is a gentleman by the name of Young P.
Okay. Is he on my album?
Gang with a coke by the state with a beautiful frame. Plus, she got a beautiful name with a pretty little face. I'm digging the man. Words can't describe what I saw. The only words that came to mind was ooh la la. Personality real good, but she's a little too modest. But she honest with the body of a goddess.
Look at Miss Thing. She's a mighty fine, sweet little thing. Don't wanna hear none of that yang. Just wanna get some of that chocolate thing.
Black girl, beautiful woman.
To be with her is my gain. She's a mighty fine woman and she's off the chain. Ooh, la, 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 yeah. Michelle Obama. Give me that coconut root beer lifesaver. Coconut.
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, it sounds good. I can listen to this all day.
Yeah.
Don't let it phase you, shock and amaze you when I say I'm down with Chocolate Nation.
Black pearl, pretty little girl, you've been in the background much too long. Black woman, beautiful and true, don't you know, girl, that I love you.
That is beautiful. I don't know where you mixed it or where you made it. The sound is wonderful, a good beat. You did a remake of a
1960 song.
All right. I think the words in there are just beautiful.
Everyone stay tuned. Also, we have a couple of more for you. The
Yeah.
next one is Legacy. Music that challenges young people to make better decisions. Here we go.
I bet you didn't think I wouldn't make it when you gave me all that flack. And now you try to fake it even though you stabbed me in the back. You got a selfish attitude and you
This is
know
your
what I'm
vocal?
saying is true.
I'm really
You are my
mostly a
brother
singer,
and
not
I
a
used
rapper.
to always look out for you.
This is Franklin, Councilman Franklin Thompson's style. Check it out.
And original composition. And all the music.
When I are family.
Is that you on the keyboards?
No, that's different people
What
in
is
town.
your
Okay. Wow.
legacy?
Beautiful.
Do you ever think about the things you do for image? This is the real thing, boy.
you'd be on the top of your game. Instead you bring upon our race dishonor and shame. I search for new discovery in the pages of our history. What is your legacy? I never meant to hurt you, never meant you no harm. In fact, I am enamored by your talent and charm. But life is more than just about monetary design. You gotta pay attention to the signs of the times. Open up your eyes and see that you have a destiny. What is your legacy? I don't need no preacher. I don't want no teacher.
What do you think,
Don't
Jennifer?
wanna come halfway to meet you.
I can relate.
About our history.
I can relate to the words.
I got a whole new thing. I got my rings and
I
my
think
bling.
that our young
I
people
got some paper and a little
listening to
ching-ching.
this,
What
would
about
it be
your
inspiring for them?
legacy? Help me understand why you wanna drop out of school. That is the way of miseducated fools. I really hope you understand that I'm on your side. When I look at you, I see potential so high. Don't wanna hear about Martin, and I don't know about Malcolm. Don't know Booker T or W.E.B. It's our history. I got all the fine honeys, and I've been rolling on 20s. I got my 40s and my shorties. What about your legacy? I don't think you can look at the truth and deny. It's gotta be more than just a chemical high. It's gotta be more than just the bling and the chain. You don't have to be a slave to material things. What will your sons and daughters say about your legacy?
Excellent, excellent.
Wow.
Now we're going to go with Color Me Rainbow.
This is a tribute to Martin Luther King. And as you can see, the different styles are really different from each other.
Yes, definitely. That's I. Is that you? Very versatile. Versatility.
No, he's being modest now.
The Renaissance Man.
Which is the title of the next album coming out.
Wow. I got that psychic thing working here. Okay. All right.
Technical problems, we'll come back
Oh,
to it.
no problem, no
Yeah.
problem. It happens all
So
the
tell
time.
us, tell me about the legacy that is a song that you composed,
Yes.
and what was your aim?
Asking young people what legacy are they going to leave. Now, if you turn on television and you take a look at the traditional things that young people watch, you kind of get the impression that they've forgotten the movement, the civil rights movement, and everything is about rings and bling and ching and drop it like it's hot and all that kind of stuff. And
what they have on their back?
yeah, and
what they're
and
wearing, what they're
legacy,
driving.
the legacy of all the people that have died and went to jail and all the
Yes.
freedoms that they fought for. That is important, and we have to re-instill that back into our young people.
Exactly.
Now, integration for schools was good, but it also took away the neighborhood school.
Yes.
And when it took away the neighborhood school, then the young people didn't have quite as much of that civil rights legacy as
Yeah. Wow, that's significant.
We're back.
That is the ill of the day.
And here again is Color Me Rainbow.
You bet.
All right.
Tribute to
Color me
Martin Luther
rainbow.
King.
This is an original.
Ask a question. Cause I'd like for somebody to satisfy my curiosity. Where are the abused? And who are the abusers? Color me rainbow. I see the fire in your eyes. Color me rainbow. I hear the edge in your voice. Let's make a difference. Let's make the right choice. I'm not your rival. I'm your survivor.
Councilman, how about a record label
Practice thy
and a
wisdom
producer?
and bind us
I
together.
have my own record.
Okay. I like that.
It's called Titus Vision Records.
For
Okay,
love
we need
is
to
the kingdom
let individuals
and
know
the
that.
power and the glory.
It's called what again?
Titus Vision Records.
Okay.
We must all learn to
Okay.
live together as brothers, or we will all perish together as fools. This is what
It's very hard to break into, but I do have a studio out of my house, and I do record.
Black and
Right,
white.
right.
We all
I did
are
use you a
precious
couple of
in
years
His
ago, if
sight.
you remember. We did some tapes of my father, who was a minister.
I don't see color
maybe-
'cause I'm
I don't know what they were on,
colorblind.
but you did a good job with that. And I'm going to have to have
I
you
see
up
the
this
fire in your
You did an
eyes.
excellent job.
I hear
Just want to let people know
the
that.
edge in your voice, baby.
like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over. And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will
When do
get
you
to
have
the
time to
promised land.
sleep? You're then doing this and the school and
It's called Super Time Man.
I guess.
Wow, you are really wonderful having you here today. It's just been a very enlightening experience.
We all are precious in His sight. I know your color's not like mine. I don't see color 'cause I'm colorblind.
I was looking at your list here of other music that you, of your library, and then you've got a new one coming out.
I have a dream this afternoon that the
Titus.
brotherhood of man will become a reality in this day. Free at last, free at last.
This is
I see the fire in your eyes. I hear the edge.
love it. What did they say? A 10?
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate
Right,
that.
right. Yeah.
I don't know. I have no right to be judging, but it sounds great,
I
and the
think we're-
messages are wonderful.
Yes, excuse me. I think we're coming up with Rainy Eyes. Is that correct?
Yes, this is an instrumental, and it's an instrumental that talks about environmental problems such as global warming. And if you're familiar with the late, great Chuck Miller,
Right.
he decided to do the horn, the trumpet line on this. I wrote it, and he came in and helped me put it together. And so this is, and it's an instrumental, but it's important to talk about environmental issues too.
Okay, here we go.
Each of the songs have a different flavor to it. Some were rap, some were more pop. This one is jazz.
One of the questions I did have, I wanted to ask, I don't know if we have time, but what are the top 3
I was
items
just sitting
on
here,
your bucket list?
thinking about a few friendships that have come and gone.
You have a bucket
Top
list?
3 items on a bucket list of mine. Okay, I've never thought about that because I'm always more in the moment. But I would say I would like to visit Africa. I would love to do that.
Ditto.
I would like to see my youngest daughter, who's the most talented in the music family, make it. And last night she just did some major recording in Atlanta.
Oh, wow,
And so,
wonderful.
I'd like to see that happen.
Wow.
And then, other than that, I'd like to make sure that I can grow old enough to have great grandchildren.
All right. All right. Well, your daughter, she's got good stock coming from you and your wife,
Yes.
and all the support of the other children in your family.
As much as people like my music, my wife and my youngest daughter are actually better than I am.
Oh. Well, she'll make it. She'll make it. Yes, yes.
Did we have one more? Do you care for me? Or did we finish?
It depends on if you have more conversation you want to have, or whether you want more music.
We can do one last one.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It's so good, I don't want to stop.
Okay.
Go.
All right.
Let's see.
And so, do you want me to pick it, or do you want to pick it?
No, you pick it.
Okay. Are you in a Cornhusker football mood, or you're more in a Black history type of mood?
I'm
or?
in a Black history type mood.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see here. Make sure. I might have to ask my
Mr. King,
person, Mr. King, to come back.
owner and general manager and
Yes.
all around.
Could you pull that same set of music back up again? And we'll go with number 1. It's called American Dream Deferred.
Oh, wow. I love it.
I think you chose the right one.
Which is a lot of fun in the Thompson household.
Yes, it's a musical family. And all of us, to one degree or another, do music. Some are just background singers, and some are leaders.
As a young boy, had
How many
visions of a dream.
in your family?
Held me back to
4 kids,
corruption
me and my wife.
and those negative.
What's the oldest? What's the youngest kid?
Now I'm much older, now I can clearly see that the fate of this country lies in its integrity. The pressure is on so many times a day. I wanna forget, sit back, relax, just blow it all away. To judge a man upon the color of his skin is the country's
Okay, a
greatest
family
loss.
that
If
prays and plays together stays together.
You bet.
Right, this is my wife helping me.
All right.
What they say behind a good man is a great woman.
It's a dream deferred. So-called Christians up in my face. Talk of one super race. Gotta put them in their place. The fuckers on my job won't leave me alone. Knocking down my door and ringing my phone. No time for no hate and bigotry. Jesus taught his children how to love the enemy. America was made for the brave and the strong. If you wanna live a dream, you gotta prove them all wrong. If you wanna be American, you gotta give love a new integrity. I wanna be.
Councilman, did you write this?
Yes, I wrote it. It's an original.
It's a dream deferred. People, why do we choose destruction? We must learn to love one another. So glory, hallelujah, pass the Bible and a gun. I wanna be American. Say I'm gonna give America new Christianity. If you wanna be with Martin Luther King, we gotta give love. It's a dream deferred.
I'd just like to ask a question. Whatever happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? Or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat?
Stop.
Or crust and sugar over syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sounds like a heavy load.
Stop.
Or does the dream just finally explode?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
That bass.
I'm going to have to schedule more airtime next time.
Yeah.
Have you on here, Councilman, and showcase your talent.
I think I have about 30, 40 songs written.
Wow. How long have you been noodling that?
Ever since I was at Tech High School.
Really?
And I was first trained by Michael Driver.
All right.
And,
Mr.
so,
Driver has been a strong influence.
Yes. So it's been a long time.
Wow. Well, that is wonderful. There are a lot of musicians that come out of our city. Like you said, though, they leave because they think more opportunity. And the driving forces that keep people from advancing sometime in the city. We need to keep our diamonds closer in,
Yes.
and so we can nurture and grow our city.
And the young people are starting to bubble with that sentiment. Even my youngest daughter, even though she's in Atlanta,
Yes.
ultimately she would like to come back to Omaha and let Omaha be a kind of a music center, the same way that Nelly did for St. Louis.
Yes.
She'd like to be that person for Omaha.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, it can be done.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, we have a lot of people that are from the city that have gone out into the world, and then the talents, family, and that support, that cohesion. Today I was looking at the Daily Word and prosperity. You're a very prosperous man, not in riches. It's not what you put on your back that counts, but it's what you contribute to your community, your family, and your God. As you give, you will receive.
God has been very good to me, and even though I'm not a rich man with finances,
Yes.
He's given me a whole lot of riches in other ways. And so my prayer is that I use it correctly and don't waste it.
Great. Wonderful.
Okay, we have come to the close of this broadcast. We would like to very much thank Councilman Thomas, Councilman Franklin, for his appearance today. He's in District 6. Also, my co-host, Ms. Jennifer Keys. We would like to thank Mr. King, who I call BK, for this
BK.
opportunity.
Thank you, BK.
Whoop, whoop.
I would like to also encourage you to inform your friends of this broadcast
Yes.
and also check in 95.7 The Boss.
The boss.
The Boss. Again, thank you, everyone. And do not forget Titus Vision Records. Tune in to that, Titus Vision Records. I'm sure that is on the email or something, DVD or what?
People can go to iTunes or cdbaby.com to get my music.
Okay, and that is very worthwhile. Again, as I said, I'm going to extend my hours and bring Brother Franklin back again. He's welcome
Definitely.
anytime.
Yes.
Brother Franklin.
Thank you for coming.
You
again.
bet. We thank you very much. I will leave you with a thought. Positive change brings by taking actions. Positive change brings by taking action. Thank everyone for listening, and may God bless.
The boss.
The boss and the mark.
The mark. Thank you, Claude.
Thank you. Thank you both.
All right.
Thank you.
everyone. You
All
bet.
right. Wonderful.
That was excellent. That was excellent. And we have to bring you back again. So I will, and we do a musical.